Hey, it's Chris Beyer.
Chris Bowling.
Happy Halloween, y'all.
Yes.
Crazy how fast it's going. So we've got Penny Wilhelm from AssuredPartners joining us this morning. Penny, how are you?
Good. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
So you have been with our AP/historic Molyneaux agency for quite some time. We're going to talk about a little bit of our charitable work as an organization and how that's evolved now that we've become part of AssuredPartners in 2020. But share a little bit of your background. What do you do with our office?
So I'm a producer on the commercial side with property and casualty, and have partnered with you two several times on clients together, which is fun always.
Absolutely. So Penny, historically, before we became AssuredPartners, we were the Molyneaux Insurance Agency in Davenport, Iowa. 1926, we were founded, had great history in our community. And I think a hallmark has always been philanthropy, not only for us as producers working with organizations that are in the nonprofit space and then supporting them, but also our office, our employees, the Molyneaux family really being committed to supporting nonprofits in our community. And you want to speak a little bit about that history. You've had longer term history with the agency than Chris and I have, but you've experienced that firsthand.
Yeah, I'm going on inching up to 19 years with them.
Wow, congrats.
And have attended this event ever since I started with them. Took over chairing the event about 10 years ago, I think now.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was going to be our 20th anniversary for the 2020 event, which we had to cancel for the last 2 years. So we really want to bring this back strong. People missed it. There's a lot of excitement about it, bringing it back. It's been a wonderful event, and over the course of those 20 years, this year we will surpass $300,000 that we've raised for the beneficiaries of the
That's
event.
impressive.
That's amazing.
So it's one of the more unique events. It's not a golf outing. It's not a trivia night. It is a euchre tournament that has been going on for, we'll say this is our 20th, but 22 years.
Right.
How in the world do we decide on euchre? Because that is one of the most unique fundraising events that I've ever seen.
Well, I cannot take credit for that, but it started out really small. Actually, Annie Molyneaux was one that got this started, and they came up with the idea of getting together and playing euchre. We have made sure that we do not call it a tournament because it is a fundraiser.
Yes, I should
and
say
there are a lot of
fundraiser.
people that
Correct.
there are a lot of really people that love euchre, love to go to tournaments, and they're there to win. That is not the case.
Correct.
We're there
this is all
support.
Fun, benefiting nonprofit organizations.
Exactly. So I always tell people when they say, well, I don't play very well. That's fine. Just come out, have fun.
Right.
The energy in the room that night is fantastic. We do play euchre, but we don't critique anyone's euchre skills.
Yes.
And it's nice to get to know people. We usually have heavy hors d'oeuvres because obviously a buffet line would not be too easy to balance when you've got cards in your hand. But they do a great job. And Starlight Ballroom out at Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds has been supporting this event for the last several years because it kept getting bigger and bigger.
Wow.
And we would grow out of the space that they started with. And they're a fantastic partner in this.
Great.
I always have players.
Playing euchre on the 3rd of November at the Starlight at Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds. And because I know Mr. Bowling is already hungry while we're recording, what are we having for food? The biggest question of the day.
That's the question, Penny.
So Matisse's, this will be, I believe, their second or third time catering the event for us. I mean, it will be great. It will be stuffed mushrooms and ham and cheese sliders and quesos and dip and veggies and dip and all kinds of great munchies, but heavy enough that you won't go away hungry for sure.
How many teams typically play?
So our biggest year since I've been involved, we actually had 89 tables of euchre players.
Wow,
that's cool.
It was a little tight that year, but I would say over the past several years, obviously barring the last two that we couldn't be there in person, right around 65-ish tables. So still a nice attended event, and the beneficiaries, they always tell the attendees kind of what they do in the community. I always invite the beneficiary that's coming on the next year to attend, even if they don't participate, so they can kind of see the lay of the land and be comfortable and know what to expect, because a lot of people don't know what to expect when we
Right.
say we're having a Euchre event.
Yes.
And
Event,
our lovely
event.
Chris Beyer is going to start emceeing this.
Yeah.
We've had Matt Wilson as an MC for years, and Chris is going to get the torch passed to him. So we're
Well, that's what
excited.
happens when you don't know how to play euchre. They're like, you're going to stand up and talk to people. So my debut as speaking, but Penny, it's kind of cool though, as you were talking about our beneficiaries, because we have them selected. They're on for 2 years, so they benefit 2 years in a row, and then they come off, and we have 2 beneficiaries each year as we go through that.
Correct.
I know our cycle got messed up with COVID. We still supported these organizations during that. But what's been cool for us to see is not only is our office and our team locally, but we get a lot of our insurance carriers, we get a lot of our employer clients that are there to also support. But I think the question is, how do we pick beneficiaries? Because we work with so many nonprofit organizations, and there's several that we don't work with as clients that are doing good work in the community. How in the world do we narrow that down when you're looking at Quad Cities Metro?
Sure. Well, and just like every business, we get approached by people for donations for events or sponsorships, etc. But when someone is asking us about being a beneficiary for this event, I ask them to send me a narrative, kind of let me know what it is that you're doing in the community, how long you've been around, background, things like that. And then we take it to a committee and then do the selections from there. This year, it's going to be Gilda's Club, and they are actually being brought back for 1 year because they were the very first recipients. So it was going to be a big thing for our 20th anniversary to bring back the first one. So yeah, we're getting things back on track, but this year it's going to be Gilda's Club and OneEighty. But yeah, we've done, we've supported Goodwill, Big Brothers Big Sisters. The 1 year we had Humane Society on there, and that was actually voted in by our staff. So we decided to mix it up a little bit and see what everyone had to say. So there's there's so many good.
It's nice to know that, and just to say this, you don't have to be a client to be a beneficiary.
No, not at all.
Key. We're not just supporting our clients. We're taking that narrative, and then that committee is looking at it and saying, who is deserving because of the work they're doing and who needs support. And that was refreshing when I joined the agency to see that going on. You don't have to be an AssuredPartners client.
There's not preferential treatment if you are a client of ours. We want to look at who's doing things in the community regardless of the business relationships.
All right.
Love it.
So Penny, as we're winding up, how do we let people know how to register? Because we may still have some tables. This is going to be up on Monday the 31st. This is Halloween when we're putting this out on LinkedIn. The event is Thursday the 3rd at the Starlight at Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds. How do people get in touch to register or potentially want to sponsor?
Absolutely. We'll take sponsorships right up to the day. Even late sponsorships are okay. But and we're used to getting kind of a flood that last week because people try to plan for things, but things come up and they're not, they're tentative on whether they actually can attend, etc. The other thing I do want to point out, Euchre is something you usually play with a partner, but we do not shy away from having people sign up by themselves, or maybe there's 3 people and they're missing a partner. We will help you find a partner. We have people all the time that if we don't have someone that's signed up, then one of our staff will jump in and play. And that gets to be kind of fun too. I've jumped in if someone had to leave early or things like that. And when when you have a house player, they're going to try to make the other team win. So it's, and of course, that's when I get the best cards.
Absolutely.
But as far as registration goes, you can contact our office, send us an email. We have a link that we can send out that you can actually register online. We just started doing that in recent years, and that's been pretty slick, but there's still a lot of people that like to send in the registration form. And so we tally all those together, and like I said, we're really hoping to bring this back strong. It's been missed
Good
for the last 2 years.
Well, we will go ahead and post that link and our phone number and the email once we post this up. But Penny, thanks for sharing a little bit about Trumps and Tricks coming up November 3rd. We appreciate you being on.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, guys.